Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatītam Gaganishadisham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam. Hi, this is Ma Nitya Ovyananda. I'm coming to you live again today to talk about Living Enlightenment, the Jivan Mukti book. See, yesterday I spoke a lot about this book in several videos, and now today I wanted to again do a live demonstration about how this amazing book will answer your questions. Now, I have a question for this book, and I know that many of you might also have a similar question. I feel that lately I have gained a little weight. Somebody has told me that I've gained a little weight. So I'm going to ask, I have gained weight. How? I've gained weight, so why? Why did this happen, and what should I do about it? Okay? So I'm just going to randomly open up to this any page, because Swamiji is going to answer through this book. Okay. And the first thing my eyes laid on was the key to awareness. So let's see what this is. A small story. A small boy was learning a lot of new things at school and home. One day he told the teacher, "Yesterday I killed 3 female and 2 male flies." The curious teacher asked, "How did you know which were male and which were females?" The boy replied, "Simple. 3 of them were on the mirror and 2 were on the cigarette box." Okay. So, intelligence is being aware and spontaneous. Understand an important thing. When you are deeply aware, you cannot make mistakes. With awareness, you don't rely on what others have taught you. You don't rely on the past conditioning that has gone on inside you for many years. You act just out of the fresh intelligence that comes with awareness. With deep awareness, you are in the present moment. When you are in the present moment, you are alive and alert. What you call as intelligent. Your intelligence, by its very nature, is spontaneous. There is no training, no learning needed for it. It is only a question of awakening it from within. The first step is to watch yourself and see how you unconsciously react to situations. See how your actions are rooted in your attitudes and conclusions from past experiences. Watching yourself with awareness is the first step. The good news about awareness, it is the only step that is needed. So most of the time, we continue to live in the dead past and miss the wonderful dimensions of life. Or we get angry over what happened and feel hurt. Either way, we are escaping from the problem by going to one extreme or the other. Instead, if we just look with deep awareness into the problem, an energy will awaken, the energy of intelligence, which is enough to bring about the solution. The very awareness is enough to awaken and break free even from the past conditioning. And we can act intelligently. This awareness will simply kindle the spark of intelligence that has always been part of you. So what's coming from this? There's a couple more paragraphs, but I can say one thing. Lately, I've been eating like random, like sometimes I'm not quite hungry, but I've been eating, like for instance, dinner. I'm usually not hungry for dinner, but we've been trying to eat before satsang. It starts at 8 p.m. Because afterwards, it's like 9, 10 o'clock when it's over. And then there's other things. We have other meetings or other responsibilities that we have to do. So eating has become kind of like that, Plus the kitchen team here, they want to close up, at a reasonable time, make sure all the food is put away and cleaned up. So I was trying to accommodate that. But for some reason, I'm kind of a late, I eat a little later in the morning, because our morning is packed. It starts at 5 a.m. with yoga, then puja, then if it's live satsang, and then other things we do. And I usually end up eating kind of a little late of a breakfast. And then I'm not obviously hungry for lunch at a normal time, so then I eat that a little later. But then I feel obligated sometimes to eat because or maybe more than I would want. Because, here there's a smaller team cooking, and we don't want to waste food either, because we have the blessings of many people that bring us the food and all, so that we can cook. So we want to keep everything, reduce the waste as much as possible and all those things, So, and I'm doing a lot less physical activity than I was before, so that's another thing I'm seeing. So why do I feel obligated? See, maybe there's still a little pattern of fear that, excuse me, that I might be hungry later. So if I don't eat now, I might be hungry later, and then what will I do? Maybe there's a little bit of a fear about that, which is strange because I did do the Nirahara Samyama, which is living without food. So it's like a 21-day process after going through the first 3 steps. Then there's a 21-day process in which you don't eat. You just have liquids. So, and that was actually a very beautiful process. So I know I still must have some incompletion with eating. Even though the food itself, I kind of, whatever's there, as long as it's edible, like I'll eat a little something and go on my way. So I'm not so attached to taste so much anymore, although I do like something that tastes good. I don't necessarily have any cravings for anything other than coffee. I would say maybe coffee. And sometimes fruit or something, but typically I don't even have any cravings other than the coffee. So, yeah, I have to look into this. It's very interesting. So you can also try this. What is it that makes you eat? Why are you overeating? What are the reasons for eating? A lot of times people eat because eating is a feeling of love, right? You go to your mother's house or your grandma's house, and they're always pushing food at you, and even in Indian culture, one of the first questions people might ask you is, have you eaten yet? In whatever language in the region you're in, they'll ask that. And having the home open, especially to sadhus, which are traveling monks, it's part of the tradition. You can't turn anyone away, because who knows who'll be knocking. Shiva could be at the door wanting to eat something. You never know. And since we're all Shiva anyhow, when we're knocking at someone's door, it's such a beautiful tradition. You never turn anyone away. So food is a big part of many, pretty much all cultures. Life revolves around eating. So I'm going to look into this a little more, because it's not like I'm starving, I've always been provided for, thankfully. I'm very blessed with that. But I must have some incompletion to still check into. So this is what Swamiji means by going in and having awareness. Sometimes I'll just be like, okay, well, it's there, and I get it over with and eat. I mean, is that really having awareness and getting into my body? What is my body telling me it needs? So there's a little lack of awareness in that category. We can really listen more to our body and what it's telling us. So I'm going to start that now. I'll start that tomorrow. So maybe we can journey together on that. You can look into why you might feel you're eating so much of the wrong foods, unhealthy foods. Because eating unhealthy foods or processed foods is beyond lack of awareness. It's almost like an abuse on the self and on the body. So not to offend anyone, but look into why that is. Why do you feel you should abuse your body? I don't even want to get into the topic of non-veg, because there's plenty of other things we can say about non-organic food and processed foods and the amount of sugar and chemicals in the foods. So why would we put that garbage in our body when we know it's bad? And especially a lot of those chemicals, and including sugar, white sugar, it's known to grow cancer cells. So why would we use that stuff? We're all concerned about our health, and health is a huge thing, especially in Western countries. So why would we put garbage in our system? Food and what we intake is very important. So bringing that awareness to our body, what it needs, what it's asking for. So sometimes people aren't even hungry like me, and they'll eat anyway. I mean, you can go many hours without food. So let's look into that, have some more awareness, and listen to our body. Because once we get more in tune with ourselves and our body, we'll start to feel other things and start to notice other things come up. Because this is who we're living with. We're living with this body. How can we ignore it and not be in tune with it? You'll see how it's a very beautiful spiritual process. And especially if you're going to be coming for the first time to meet Swamiji or get initiated into manifesting powers, you'll see how starting to practice getting in tune with yourself will really help you quickly manifest powers. So it's all connected, and it's all a beautiful process and lifestyle. So living enlightenment, living in the state and space of Sadashiva, and living with a beautiful Master and Guru, His Holiness Paramahamsa Nityananda. I'm very blessed, and I appreciate you listening again today. Please join me again for the next sessions. Nityananda.